funny thing happened to me on my way to invading Earth. I am your worst nightmare. Believe that.
What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we have Arman, Nasim. Now, I'm telling you, man, my name's Arman, Nasim.
I think Arman.
Arman.
Nasim.
Lost Magic #1. We're going to be talking to him about his Kickstarter, and that's coming up next.
Could this be magic, my dear? Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer. Medina. What's happening, everybody? What's happening, Sam?
Dime como tú. Dime como tú.
We are live. Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. Live tonight. It's 7 p.m.
Tonight.
And we have another exciting guest, another exciting Kickstarter. You're right over there. Another exciting Kickstarter special for you guys. It is Wednesday night, 7 p.m. And we are here. And Sam is singing, for those who don't know, Sam is singing some old school Spanish ballads. That one is by a gentleman named Juan Gabriel.
I know.
And for my Mexican brothers and sisters out there who know about Juan Gabriel, and not just them, because the Latin community knew all about Juanga, as he's called, and Querida is the name of that song, bro. So how you listening? I didn't even know. You barely speak Spanish. How do you know? How do you know about Querida, bro?
The faking the funk, talking all the extra hard joke. You're probably a punk. Now I'm gonna let you know. You know. I grew up in a Puerto Rican family, and my grandma and my mom used to spend a lot of time. They were very close. They spent a lot of time in the kitchen, and my grandmother would cook. My mom would, they would cook together, and they would talk, and they would listen to their music. And Juan Gabriel was one of them. Yeah. And that song, whenever it came out, the woman would start dancing, and you couldn't help but dance.
Dancing.
Yes, they would start dancing, and it was just a romantic song, but it makes you feel alive, and it makes you think, and it makes you feel alive. And for some reason, last night I was going through that. I was playing Tito Fuentes last night. I was going crazy last night. For some reason, my mind was just on. And my wife was like, "What's going on with you? Is everything okay?" I was like, "Yes." I'm just
it's so Spanish right now. What's wrong with
I know. I was like, "Yeah, I know, right?" She goes, "Why are you acting funny?" I was like,
It's like, "Come here, mommy."
Yes.
Come here, mommy.
Oh, I forgot to open this up.
That's something for you, man.
Yes, I know. Forgot to open the chat.
That is funny, bro.
Yes,
yeah,
funny as heck.
bro. But that music is good music, bro. It's good music. There was this kid that I used to know back in the days. He had a big crush on my sister, right? And my sister wanted nothing to do with him. I ain't messing with you, man. This kid would try to serenade her with freaking Juan Gabriel songs, like on some please, like Querida, all those songs, like heartbreaking songs, bro. But it was so funny. It was so funny. It was so funny. It didn't work. It didn't work, unfortunately, but the man tried, and Juan Gabriel was his go-to. Juan Gabriel was his go-to guy, bro.
Yeah, that song is fire. You know, and then you know, it was funny because the chorus always stuck out, right? You know, and so that when you hear that, everyone starts singing it. Even if you didn't know any of the words, when you heard "Dime como tú," yeah, everybody would start singing it. so it's like you come out of it's like what do you call it? Groundhogs come out the hole. It's like whoop.
He's got that little ha ha ha.
Hi, yes.
He got that little high note.
Yes.
Oh man, that hurt. Wow. Yeah, no, dude, it's good. You know that his story. If you look at the story of Juan Gabriel, the artist, pretty sad, bro. He was homeless for a while, and he ended up doing some jail time. I don't know how long he was in jail because he was accused of stealing from people that told him he could stay there. And he was accused of stealing some of their stuff, and they sent him to jail because they accused him of stealing after they told him he could stay at their house.
Wow.
So it's a pretty, his story is pretty interesting, man, but very talented freaking writer. His lyrics are just off the hook. So if you're Spanish and you haven't, I mean, if you're Spanish, you probably know. I'm sure you know, like you, Sam.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were down with the Juan Gabriel, but I mean, your parents, your grandma, like the older folks, they were into that thing, man. They were into it, and I remember growing up with that. So yeah, that's
What's
funny,
up,
man.
Trish in the house?
Yes, what up? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, if I show you my hard drive with all of the Latin singers, your jaw would drop. You'd be like, you really have that list? I have
Wait, who?
I have
Julio?
hundreds.
You got Julio?
I got everybody has Julio. Come on.
You have.
I got Celia Cruz.
You got Celia. Okay, you got.
I have a
Celia.
lot of
You got
Mexican too.
You got Roberto Carlos.
Yes,
You know
I
who
do.
That is?
Yes, I do.
You got Robert. You got Robert
Yes.
Charlie.
Uh-huh.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
How about Tito Rojas? I know you
Yes,
got Tito
I do.
Rojas.
Yes, I do.
You got Tito. Tito Nieves.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah, of course,
Yes.
Tito Nieves. You got Tito.
Yes.
Yeah, you got. What about Luis Mi? You got Luis Miguel.
Yes, I do. Yes.
You got Luis Miguel.
Yes,
All
yes.
right. Yeah, I gotta check your.
You know what it is? Because
situation
my
out there.
father-in-law, he says, hey, you like music? I said, yeah. He says, give me a hard drive. And he loaded it up.
just pumped
He
it.
loaded me up with all of like 60s era, 70s era, 80s era, 90s. I mean, everything, even
Like
including
Spanish music.
hip hop,
Is he Spanish?
jazz.
Is he Hispanic? Your father-in-law?
Yeah, he's part Mexican and part Native.
American?
Yeah, Native American. And so he gave me my hard drive back, and when I went through it, I must have had at least 5,000 songs. Albums.
you.
I mean, everything from the Beach Boys to Julio Iglesias to Tupac. It was like crazy. It's crazy.
Talk about an eclectic freaking
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's some good stuff. I started collecting vinyls a couple of years ago.
Oh,
just like
wow.
old school, just vinyl records. I just love the way that when the needle hits the vinyl record, man,
Yes.
and you hear it, like tss, that little, it's such a nice sound. I mean, granted, obviously the sound today in music is different, but that old school sound of that vinyl is just so dope.
I
man.
released the
So-
vinyl. I have my vinyl, my EP.
Oh yeah, where's your
yes.
vinyl? You got it
It's
up
on,
on the
it's on the wall somewhere, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
This kid's a musician. Yeah, all little things.
I'm a jack of all
Trish, if this
trades.
is the first time watching the show, welcome. Trish Bankston in the house. Bankston in the house. Sammy's got a lot of different. You're gonna learn a lot about Sammy. Not so much about me. I'm a little more quiet. I keep it to myself. But Sam is an open book sometimes. I love
Oh
it.
yes, I'm the
love
great pretender, pretending that I'm doing well.
Interesting.
George's like, there he goes again.
There he goes. There he
I
goes.
was even
You
singing
just-
on your interview last night.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Oh man, I think we just lost a subscriber. Damn it.
Did we?
No, I'm joking.
They're
Yeah,
like,
but big
"Sing
shout out to everyone. Big shout out to everyone who has subscribed in the last few weeks. We've had a
Yes.
big uptick of subscribers. We're up to 514. I know some of the channels are like, you're celebrating 514 subscribers, bro. Yes, we are celebrating 514 subscribers. Thank you to everyone.
I'll let you read that one. So my daughter.
My daughter wants to give you all a little jiggle. Told her I wanted to cosplay someone from Encanto, and she looks like me. She looks at me dead in the eyes and said, "I am too white for that." That's awesome, Trish. That is great. You know, I haven't seen Encanto yet. Does that new Disney movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
So you know, like I guess it's Colombian, like it's Colombian folklore that they tackle in it, and I haven't checked it out, but I've heard it's pretty good actually. Nope, a regular Sam got me hooked when he did the cost of running a table. So informative. Nice. All right.
Oh, thank you.
The cost of running a table. Yes. Oh, yeah. That was a nice little. How many parts did you do in that? 3-parter, 4-parter?
It was like it was like 4-part series. Yeah. I was like, I can't do it in 10 or less.
No, well, thank you, Trish. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us for a little bit here.
Yeah.
But tonight we have a great show.
Yes.
We have a guest. His name is Arman Nasim.
Yes.
And he's got a book called Lost Magic.
Yes.
And he says for fans of The Witcher, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. So it's currently on Kickstarter.
Yes, he has 11 days to go.
Yep.
Link is in the summary, and Lost Magic. What is it? Yeah, Lost Magic. Link is in the summary. He has 11 days to go. 47 backers. He is approximately $453 away from making his goal. And where he's going to be talking to us tonight about his comic series. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. The art style and the color work is very unique to this style of book. And can't wait to hear what he has to say. I mean, some of these pieces are beautiful. He has this piece, The Virgin Cover C by Quincy Washington and Giorgio Rosasco. That is a beautiful piece.
Man, no, he really does have some really, really cool stuff. He sent us a brief synopsis of it, and I'll read it off to you guys real quick. It says, "What if I told you all the stories you've ever heard of monsters are real? They just belong to another world, inexplicably connected to Earth. Every now and then a portal opens, allowing their inhabitants to cross over. This story resides in this lost world. At a time when magic is dying, no one knows why. Heroes of all ages must solve this mystery amongst the stars. A king rises to build the first civilization, one without magic. A rebellion looms to keep the chaos and power the way it's always been. Decisions are all we have. Which side will you join?" Lost Magic. So the way he's done it is he's called it Lost Magic Season 1. And he's, instead of calling them chapters, he's called them episodes. So you have 6 episodes, and each one is told through a new character's point of view. So it's setting the stage for an epic that'll open the reader's eyes.
It's almost like when you and I go on a road trip, our stories never line up. So it's like
they're told from different point of views. I see it one way, you see it another.
So we can never go to court together.
But it's one epic.
We're both doing life. It'll be Martin and Eddie Murphy.
Martin and Eddie. And life is a great. That's one of my favorite comedies, bro. Yes. Life is so freaking funny. Yes. And it's so well written too. Like, Life is a great. I think it's underrated as far as the Eddie Murphy movies, but Life is a great movie, bro. Like, those two, they're so good together. Yes. Man. They're so good together.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's happening later on today. But Sammy, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the House of Craze.
In the House of Craze, for everybody who backed Forbidden, shit! Look at you with the duty. We'll go into that in a second. Everybody who backed Forbidden, everything's arrived. I'm waiting for one more item. This is the graphic novel. Everything is arrived. I'll be sending an update, so I'll be spending the next couple days packing and getting it out to everybody. So thank you who supported Forbidden. But, that's yesterday. Today, we're talking about Duty. And so Duty is coming. There's an alien on my toilet. The landing page is in the summary. If you haven't signed up today. It's a hilarious all-ages sci-fi adventure comedy series with almost 18 amazing critic reviews from Newsarama to Licensing Magazine to just a whole bunch. And so it's a hilarious adventure. I introduced him back in the early 2000s. I left comic books. I'm coming back to finish what I started with the Dudester. And you can become a Dudester today by signing up on the landing page. And in fact, I'll put the link there for anybody who's watching incognito and wants to know more about it. You can go over. Once I find it, there you go. Bang. Copy. Yeah, and so there are 6 covers in this campaign. One is a sketch cover, but there's 5 covers plus a sketch cover. You can get it blank or you can get it with a commissioned sketch. There's 2 options there, but one cover is done by none other than George the Dreamer Medina. Hey, you want to hold that up, George?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, Sookie. Now, there it is. There it is. So George did that cover. George is also the letterer and colorist in this issue. And so we're excited about it. I'm excited about it.
This is vintage right here. This was before we were professionally printing comics. And when I say professionally, there were no Mixums, there were no Kablams and all those other. And if they were, well, no, actually Kablam might have been around, and I think what was the other one? Comexpress.
Comexpress is what we used. We used Comexpress and we used JD Calderon.
Yes,
JD Calderon.
And then so these are vintage. Look at the back of these things.
Yeah.
Wow. These are vintage. Look at those characters. Look at those characters.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Damn, that's old school right there.
Yeah,
man.
look at that Rush 5377 cover by George Bahinahe. I have all those. Yeah. I have all those issues.
Oh yeah. That's
I have
right.
all of it. Right. So when George pops off, I got the originals. I got that too.
So this was back in the days, man.
When as a brokepreneur, when George pops off with Wonderduck and I'm on the streets with my hot dog stand trying to sell hot dogs, I'm gonna go on eBay and make a killing.
No. See, the way it's gotta go is if I pop off, you pop off. If you pop off, I pop off. I pop off. That's just how it's gotta go. It's gotta go down like that.
Oh, you crazy?
That's how it's gotta go down. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is awesome. I mean, you're bringing it back. It's full color. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking at. I was reading it today, and it's freaking duty, man.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, no. So the story's about this alien named Duty who crash lands on Earth, right? And that sounds simple enough. Okay, I get it, but the misadventures he gets into is the fun part of the story, and it's nice. I like that you're bringing back, Duty. I know there's an alien in my toilet. That was something that you created many, many years ago, and it's nice that he's making a comeback.
Yeah,
so
and there's a lot of incentives for educators because Duty, there's 4 pages of trivia, puzzles, and a lot of things to encourage learning with kids. So there's an educator's bundle. There's also a retailer's bundle, and there's some surprises. There's a guidebook. There's a coloring book. In fact, I revamped all that stuff, so it all looks new. So that's all the old stuff. So you got a crossword puzzle in there. It's really tight, and so there's a lot of good stuff. And then I got a secret weapon that I'll on the night of, I'll announce, and so it's gonna be hot. I'm excited about it, and.
It's funny looking at this thing, right? So this was 2006 when this was printed, and I know because it was maybe 2005, and I know because we were doing licensing international in 2006
and Big Apple Comic Con. Big Apple and
San Diego, and then we were doing Big Apple in November.
Yes.
And that was kind of like the schedule that year. Yeah. It was June for licensing 2006 at the Javits Center. It was July for Comic-Con 2006, and it was November. So, damn, dude, and what's crazy? Like, those shows are still around.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for staying around. I mean, this was 2006. We're talking about 15 years ago, bro. Yeah. Like, time flies when you're having fun, dude.
It does. And I just want to say thank you to the 46 supporters that signed up on the landing page. The goal is to get to 100 or more by the time we launch. We're going to have a launch party. It's going to be fun. It's going to be live, interactive. And so if you're out there and you're listening, I do appreciate your support. I can't wait for you to get your hands on the Dudester. And there's a 48-hour early bird bundle special. There's 2 specials for the first 48 hours that you can take advantage of at a significant savings. So there's a lot of stuff that's available in the campaign. And as we get closer to it, there'll be more revealed. But enough about us. About me. You also have Wonderduck coming down the pike.
Yeah. So Wonderduck is coming. Wonderduck won't be coming until May.
But
the pre-launch page is live now, and if you go, I don't know if it'll probably be in the show notes, but if you go to Get Your Meds with a Z, getyourmeds.com, there's a link for the page there. You can follow me on Instagram at Get Your Meds. You can also follow the page on Instagram, The Adventures of Wonderduck, or The Adventures of WD on Instagram. I think There's an Alien in My Toilet also has a page on Instagram, so you can follow that.
Yeah.
So you can follow us everywhere, and you'll get all of that information. But yes, so the pre-launch page is up now. Sign up. Some people have already signed up. I will have some cool stuff.
Yeah, you
I
have to
said
26 now.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I said, so basically those 26 people that have signed up, a quick announcement. If you send me a DM over on any of my social networks,
I'm going to have to block this,
even on the website,
this infomercial.
send me your email address. I will email you a PDF, a special PDF just for the campaign, just for those just for those that hit the notify page. This won't be available on the campaign at all.
It's because I'm a brokepreneur.
It's basically just for those who hit the notify button. Right. I will be sending you a PDF. Once the campaign goes live and you guys pledge, I will be sending you a printed copy, an 8x10 print of that PDF for you guys to own. So,
yes,
and that's my way of saying thank you for supporting me even before this thing comes out.
Spank you.
And let's have some fun. Let's have some fun.
So
this year's going to be great.
Yeah, he's there. But that said, I see Arman Nasim is in the audience, so we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to bring him in. Hi, I'm Samuel, and this is Duty. Have you signed up for the launch of There's an Alien in My Toilet on Kickstarter? I hope that you do. It's going to be a hilarious ride. The link is in the summary. See you there. All right, we're bringing him in.
Whoa.
Hello there. How'd he do?
What do you got? I'm doing good.
Welcome to the Craze. So, I am Sam the Crazy Man Bear, if you don't know that already, and that is my co-host, George the Dreamer Medina. Welcome to the show. Who are we talking to tonight?
My name is Arman Nasim. Yeah, thanks for having me on, you guys. I think Sam, WS Quinton, sent me your way, and I was like, it's time to. I'd love to kind of promote my Kickstarter a little bit, and then just hang with you guys, see whatever you guys are talking about.
Outstanding,
sweet, man. Sweet. Thank you for coming on, Arman. We really appreciate it, man.
Yes. So, we have you here to talk about Lost Magic. But before we do, we want to get to know who you are. So give us a brief overview of who you are, where'd you grow up, and how'd you get into comics?
Absolutely. I born and raised on Long Island, New York. I kind of never really left because I went to college at NYU in the city. So I really kind of stayed in New York kind of my entire life. And then after I graduated college, kind of got really into film and short films and comedy and stuff like that. And more recently, I was because of the pandemic, we couldn't really shoot anything, and I just had so much creative energy, and I kind of just channeled that all into comic book making because I started reading a lot more comic books. I used to read a lot as a kid, and then I kind of got back into it when the pandemic happened, and then I kind of started writing my first one. Right about a year ago, and then this is the first one that I ever wrote, Lost Magic.
Nice, dude. Nice. It's funny. You mentioned that you went. You're into film, which explains how you broke the comic book down in season. This is season 1. You have episodes 1 through 6. So that told, because I was like, this is interesting, and it's all told through the different characters' points of views. So that was very interesting. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But so you grew up in New York, went out to NYU. How come you've never actually ventured out? Is it just because the Big Apple is just that enticing for you? Because Sam left. Sam's in Texas. He was, born and raised in where were you? Queens, and my man's out in Texas. So what keeps you in New York?
I did a road trip right after college, all across the U.S. and I landed in California. It was maybe about 3 weeks or something. I kind of saw a lot, but nothing kind of drew me. I like the big buildings, I like the crowd. Yeah. I kind of like the intensity and the feeling of there's always people around you in New York City. Yeah. So I couldn't find it anywhere else, and I kind of grew up here, and I kind of that's kind of what I wanted. So I never felt the need to leave, and I did go a lot of other places and visit, but nothing really drew me there.
Yeah. I've always said if I move out of New York, it's probably going to be to San Diego or something. Just that the weather out there is just incredible. But other than that, yeah, I hear you. So you started reading comics. Were you now you said were you into comics as a young kid? Maybe not hardcore, but did you pick up anything that?
Yes, I did. I had mainly like the big crossover events I remember, but mostly I read a lot of Green Arrow because of the Arrowverse on the CW. I was a huge fan of all of those shows, right about in high school for me. And then from there, I remember like I got into like Smallville, and then that was my gateway to Superman. But yeah, like just stuff like that. Nothing like too intense. And I didn't even really know about like the indie comic scene until much more recently. And then that's really what made me kind of fall in love with comics. And then I kind of like, oh, I can probably kind of inspired me to kind of make my own. After I read, I think it was Monstrous by Marjorie Liu. I was like, oh, creating fantasy worlds, that's something I can really want to do, and I can do it in like a visual artistic format. And I thought it was like just like the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with Sam before we even went on the air, and we were talking because we were talking about like your book. Thank you so much for the preview of it. And I told him it's interesting, man. It's interesting because the way you did it. So like it's not just a regular comic book page 1 through 24, 1 through 36, and that's how the story is told. It's literally broken up into episodes. And so we were talking about how as an independent, you have the flexibility to do those kind of things. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people, a lot of writers and creators to go indie, because you don't have the chains that kind of hold you back from saying, hey man, you can't do it that way. How did you develop your story to look the way you have it, other than you're obviously, you love film? How did you develop this thing?
So it all started, I kind of had the very base idea about this, a world of monsters, and what if all of the stories of monsters, passed down through generations are real? People talk about, Homer's, like, he talked about the great tragedies, and all these other, Native Americans used to have like some really wild, monsters in their history. So it kind of started off like that. And then I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do with it until I kind of met Martin, and I saw his artwork, and it was so like unlike anything I've ever seen before. And then I kind of, from there, kind of started forming in my head a little bit more kind of how I saw these characters coming together, kind of just the world and the feel that I wanted for it. And I kind of wanted it to be equal parts, fantasy and horror. And I kind of wanted to like mash up those genres, while also telling, a great, fun, wild, big story. So that's kind of how it all started. And then I kind of wanted to create a bunch of different characters, points of views, and then kind of weave the story through them.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. Very, very well done. I don't think that's something that's necessarily easy to do, because you can easily lose the reader. But as you continue to read, you're exploring, and the world opens up to you a lot more. So how long? Okay, so now I know the Kickstarter is live right now. For those who are watching, we were talking to Arman Nasim, and he's got a Kickstarter called Lost Magic #1, which is live right now. You have 11 days left, as Sam mentioned. The campaign ends on January 24th, and you're about a little under $500 away from your goal. So if you guys are watching and you guys are interested, make sure you go on there. We have the link there. They can pledge. So how did you meet your artist? You said you met Martin. How did you meet Martin?
I was browsing a lot of artists on Instagram and Facebook. Martin, I believe it was on Instagram, and I actually was super intrigued because I was following at the time Bill Sikowicz, and he was and then he kind of promoted Martin somehow. I think it was either like he liked or commented or something, and I checked him out. And I think he's like a hidden gem. I think he was, he's super kind of unknown, like an up and comer creator. And then I kind of just, we started talking about like the sketchiness of his artwork, and I was a big fan of his, and and then it kind of came together later that I kind of had this story, and we kind of just decided that he was as excited as I was to kind of explore and create this, awesome. This lost world. So.
It's cool that you can do that online now. You know what I mean? That you can actually meet, artists. Like, where is Martin located, by the way?
He's in Colombia.
He's in Colombia. So like you would have never met this gentleman if it wasn't
Definitely.
for like Instagram, right? You would have never known anything about Martin. And here you are, you're working with him. You guys are, you know, vibing back and forth. How was the communication as far as like from script to page? Like was there any, I mean, language barriers were there, and what were some of the I guess pitfalls or some of the things that you guys ran into?
Honestly, nothing. It was, you know, it was from the get-go. It was a lot of trust, kind of placing. You know, he understood the vision because, you know, we talked about the vision a lot and the moods and the feel of each page and the objective of each page. More so than I told him like those three things were more important than even, you know, the actual panels that I had laid out for him.
Right.
And then he can kind of, you know, take my panels and kind of whatever he feels best, you know, would portray again those top three things that I kind of laid out, you know, for in the script. So it gave him a lot of flexibility, and I think that kind of worked really well. You know, no language barriers. I think he was also like really fast. He does it traditionally, which I was surprised that he was actually so fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he was just super excited to kind of, you know, he kind of understood the vision that I had presented to him, and like the vision of where I want to take this story. Because when I sat down with him, I told him I don't want something that's like one season or like, you know, 6 episodes. I wanted something that was going to be like 6 seasons, you know, and that's kind of what I pitched him from the very first meeting. Like I wanted like a huge story that kind of got told and that had an ending. I think that was very important for me.
Yeah, yeah. So this does have a beginning, middle, and end. It's not something that's going to be ongoing.
Correct. So, you know, Community used to have a, you know, a fun saying, 6 seasons and a movie. I'm hoping to kind of do that as well. And, you know, I have 6 seasons planned of Lost Magic, and we're halfway through. I believe Martin already, you know, kind of finished 3 seasons of it. And, you know, we're still kind of working on, you know, the colors and lettering for the rest. But then I kind of, whatever season 7 is going to be like kind of a surprise, because it's going to be something huge and different. So
Nice.
So you were talking about that he was able to capture your vision. So talk about the look and style of the art, and how you landed on that specific look, and also the color palette.
yes. So for the look, I wanted something that was kind of abstract and very kind of sketchy. And I didn't really want it to be too clean, because I wanted the reader's imagination to really take hold of the world that they were kind of that we were creating. And so that not only could they join in, but they could kind of fill in the blanks. They could kind of see the characters more so in their kind of mind and how they were all moving, and also kind of give that feel of like kind of like a scary tone that, you know, it's not something they're used to, right? They're jumping into something new, and that they're uncomfortable with maybe. Like just like a lot of our characters are as well. I think it's a parallel as well with, you know, our own universe, and that's kind of definitely like a feeling that I wanted to create. And, you know, it's kind of also, it pairs well with Martin's art, but Martin understood it, and he kind of also went a lot further with it. You know, it's unlike any of his other art styles that he's done before. So I was very happy with it, and, you know, the monster designs and everything. And then the missing piece for me was a bright color palette, and I didn't know, you know, it was very hard to find a colorist that could work with Martin's line art. And then when I found Michael Woods, you know, it was history, because, you know, he not only understood the vision, but he wanted to give this world like a bright, you know, a bold color and look. And I loved his vision when he was saying what he wanted to do with it. And then from there we kind of just jumped right in together.
It's really cool, man. Because Sam, I think so. You know, we do other shows and other episodes. He's got one where we were talking about coloring and how the colorist can really make or break a book. And I think that when you have, like you said, when you have the line work that Martin has, which is very sketchy and very, you know what I mean? It's not these smooth closed lines, but it's really cool looking. That can easily be messed up or lost in the coloring, right? And there's a good example of it on the Kickstarter for those who are watching. If you guys go on the Kickstarter, towards the bottom you have the black and white Cover D Ash Can by Martin Munoz. That right there is the black and white. But if you go to and obviously when you open up the Kickstarter at the very top, there is the colored version of that same cover, and you don't lose any of it. Like, it's all there.
Right.
It's really impressive.
Which is why I understood what you said, to find a colorist that's able to tackle that style, because there is a lot of black, right? And so and there's a lot of hatching and cross hatching and so it's like it's very complex. So unless you're really skilled and know how to handle that style, you can actually ruin it.
Yeah, there's so real quick also in episode 1, Arman, there's the first page, which is the two characters standing in front of that creepy looking mansion, or I should say castle, really.
Yes.
When I saw that, I was like, dude, like, who colored this? Because this looks incredible on top of the artwork that's in the book. Like, honestly, all kudos to your team, man. They are doing a fantastic job on this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, I love the art style, and it was something like, again, unlike anything I've seen, and it kind of meshed so well together. And there was a lot of uncertainty going into it, but then I think I'm very happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, how did you feel when you first got these pages, Arman? Because I know when I get pages from artists, I'm like, oh, it's like Christmas, right? It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you received these pages? Were you just like floored by what you were seeing? Like,
I absolutely was. I was kind of less speechless. I was just so super excited, when I got them, and I kind of just didn't know what to do. But then I kind of just kept looking at them, to be honest. Like, oh wow. A lot of times, Martin would be like, "Is there anything you want to change?" I was like, "Nothing. Change nothing." I was like it's so good. Yeah.
That's incredible, man. So is your process pretty much you send him the script, he sends you thumbnails, or does he send you like basically just pencil pages?
He sends me kind of sketches, like pencil-y pages. His big thing is his inking process, right? Because that's the traditional inks, and that's what he really kind of specializes in. Right. And so we would kind of we would get I would approve the pencil page, and then he would go to the inking. But I really, what I saw in the pencil page was, I guess, kind of like more of a rough layout. No really details were there. And then kind of just picture, you kind of just have to picture where everything would be, the characters who were showing up. And because sometimes I didn't even, recognize the characters, and he would have to write down who these characters were.
Right.
But then, when he inked it, then it all became very clear. And so, it's kind of the process. And again, we're very happy with, I was very impressed with the turnaround time. He really wanted to get these pages out as soon as possible, because he believed in vision. He wanted to see it go out into the world, into the Kickstarter, and then
No, this is awesome. Awesome. It's funny because like your campaign looks great on Kickstarter, but guys, somewhat like the preview pages look amazing, but the pages that you have in this book, dude, like people really got to check them out. So you definitely have to check out the book itself. What's what's the plan for the story? I know you said 6 issues or 6 episodes and then a movie. There are a lot of characters in this book, right? So are you thinking maybe spin-offs of these characters, or like what's the world looking like?
So 6 seasons. So this was season 1. So
okay,
6
gotcha.
full seasons. So kind of issues, if you want to in layman terms. So 6 issues, and no real spin-offs, because all these characters are part of the story, and they kind of we see them throughout. Time is going on as we jump to all these new characters in the way that kind of Game of Thrones. We kind of see it kind of happens. Time is moving, even though we jump from person to person, and I think that's a very cool way to explore the story, because you don't miss any of the action, really, because you kind of get to see the biggest moments and the most important moments. Whereas sometimes it annoys me to no end when you hear a character talking about this other great thing that happened in this other city somewhere. I'm like, why can't we just be there? Why can't we just have seen it? And and here you can.
Gotcha.
So all these characters will return for season 2, and a lot of them, and then there's a whole plan of how they kind of where their journeys go and where their stories go, and every season there'll also be new characters. I think it was so it's going to be like a mix up of new characters and old characters, kind of blending in, and what will visit them in these parts of the world. Yeah.
Nice. So, do you have an official website, or are you specifically a social media?
So I have my main website is armannasim.com, ARMANNASIM.com. That's kind of so I have like all my projects on there. You know, I kind of have my short films, kind of just everything about me kind of there. I also have like a YouTube prank channel that I kind of do, and then my comics also has a page there. But you know, for the Kickstarter, it's going to be lostmagiccomic.com or the Kickstarter page. So that's kind of it for now for social media.
No, that's cool, man. That's interesting. I like that you have a lot of things going on from the creative side. Like you're not just doing the comics, you're also doing the short films and all that other fun stuff. I guess once things open up a little more, you'll be able to do more filming. But for right now, the comic. Now, are you thinking of maybe turning the comic into maybe something that, you know, live action?
Oh, that'd be interesting. I know I see it. I would see it more as an animation, you know. But the thing I wanted to do here is I wanted to make something that couldn't be filmed, right? You know, you kind of have that, the guy from Ready Player One, he said that, you know, and then they filmed it. But I think I wanted to create a world that was so wild and didn't have any constraints on, you know, budget or imagination. And that's where I ended up with Lost Magic. Gotcha. It's something, you know, so wild. And, you know, of course, now what they're doing with, you know, Star Wars and things, yes, but you know, even so, like I think some of the monster designs and things, like I don't know how you can replicate that, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't look as good as it does on the page. I think, right. You know what I mean. Like maybe you could do it, but could you do it right? I guess is the question, right?
Yes.
Could you actually do it right and within budget? Because this looks like it would just be massive. Like, you know, where do you find the budget for all of this stuff? No, it looks great, man. It really does look great. I'm excited for you. It looks, like I said, you have 11 days left. Talk to me before we leave. Talk to me a little bit about the logo, the Lost Magic logo. Like who designed that? And was that you? Was that the artist?
Yeah, which logo are you talking about? The main title
The main
logo?
one, yeah. The
yes,
main one,
yeah, I designed
Magic.
that. Yeah, so I lettered it all. I kind of designed. Nice. I did all the design on it.
Yeah, good job. Good job, brother. Good job.
So, you have a captivated audience. Give us the pitch, the elevator pitch.
For sure. You know, so it's an all ages fantasy horror comic, and I kind of, it all begins with you know, a simple question: what if all the monsters are real? And now, what if there was also a world separate from Earth that is connected, but also resides at the, you know, this lost world resides at the center of the universe, at, you know, where there's a magical well where all the, you know, magic of the universe resides, and then we get to see on this world, you know, monsters of all different kinds, you know, magics of all different kinds, and kind of see a lot of you know, kind of fantastical creatures and people from all different places in the universe kind of come and visit this center. But now, you know, in the story, it starts off with magic mysteriously starts dying, and you know, all these characters now have to kind of decide what they want to do or how to move forward with this. Do they try to solve it, like what's happening, or do they want to build a new future without magic, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where the main schism starts in the story of on this lost world. You know, there's a king who tries, a rising king who tries to build the first civilization, and he doesn't want magic. He wants invention. He wants technology. But then you also have the old ways of monsters who form a rebellion because they want chaos and power to kind of reign. So then we have all these characters stuck in the middle and kind of have to make their own decision. And there's no right or wrong side. It's kind of just, you know, kind of like The Witcher, like, you know, you just have to make your own decision and kind of live with it. And everybody has their own reasons.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, no, sounds good.
Outstanding. Thank you again for coming on the show. You know, much success to you. You got 11 days. That I don't see any reason why you don't make the your goal. And again, the link is in the chat. The link is in the summary. You can reach out to him personally and check it out. I mean, I think one of the pieces that stands out besides the cover is the Virgin cover by Quincy Washington.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful piece, beautiful illustrated piece. But yeah, we wish you much success with all your endeavors, with your comedy, your acting, your writing. You're jack of all trades, right? You're making it happen.
Yes.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys.
You got it, brother. Thank you for joining Catch the Craze, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care, man.
Yeah, so that was Arman, and
Sweet.
so again, I mean, the campaign, I was showing the campaign where you were talking,
Yeah,
so everyone got to see the pages and the whole bit. I like the plot. I like the summary. I like the fact that the look doesn't look like your traditional stuff. It reminds me of Dungeons and Dragons. The look.
Yeah. No, I can see it. It definitely does, man. It's actually I like the how he's set it up, and like I was telling you, like it's interesting. It is interesting because you go in and out, like, you know, every single, you know, quote unquote episode or chapter within that season, within that book, takes you into a different character's point of view. So he'll say this character and he'll call it whatever adventure it is, and then you start reading whatever's going on in there. And it's tricky. You know, it's ambitious because you have to be able to write this so that it's not confusing to to audience. And he's done a good job.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess, you know, I think everyone who goes into comics has a more grandiose aspirations, right? Everyone would love to see it on film, animation, some sort of next level growth. So I think this approach that he's doing, he's trying to tackle that in advance, so that way he can show them these are broken down into episodes. I wrote it specifically for the screen, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's unless you really take care of the character development and make sure that everything is in line with the overarching theme, you can fall to the wayside, you know. But you know, I wish him all the best. I like the look, the look of the book. So yeah, I think this is his first created. So
Yeah.
And everyone who's watching, he's backed 116 campaigns. So you know, backing 116 campaigns, Arman, word of advice: reach out to 116 people and say, yo, I hooked you up. Check out my campaign. Right? Right? So say, yo, I backed all your campaigns. Hook it up. Because you should have 116 backers right now. And but yeah. So I wish you much success with what you're doing. You know, keep moving. You know, keep it grinding.
Yeah, and big shout out to all of his team, man. His team is incredible. Martin Munoz, the penciler and inker, Michael Woods, the colorist, Elisabetta Vicotrova, episode covers. She does the episode covers in between. So yeah, strong team, strong book. You guys definitely check it out. The links are up.
Check it out.
And, give this man your money. He's got some pretty cool, reasonable goals here as far as what you can pledge for.
Cheers, yeah.
You know, he's got as low as $1.
$1
more. That's right. The Hopeless Wanderer pack is $9. That gets you a print copy of cover A, some digital signed by Arman, your name on the thank you page. So yeah, then you go up to 19 digital. Oh, look at this, the Digital Dreamer Completionist pack.
Wow, he's got a George packet.
He's got a Dreamer. He's got a Dreamer package, bro. $19. $19. Special edition ash can cover, which is cover D, which is the black and white cover. And let's see how he goes. Kingdom pack. He's got the Rebellion pack. Another Dreamer pack. Oh, this is the True Dreamer. 3 printed books.
Wow.
3 printed books. Yeah. And then you can design a monster or you as a character in the book for $150.
Wow.
So you can work with Arman in the creation process of a monster, or you or your likeness will be featured as a character. Your choice of season 1 or 2. Martin and Michael will make it look fabulous and true to your vision. Both Dreamer Completionist packs are included in here. And please note that season 2 is preferred to avoid rush delays. For season 1, let's get in contact with us. So yeah, so he's saying if you are going to choose this, let's do it for the second book for season 2, so that it doesn't slow down the production of season 1. Everybody's not just waiting around. Yeah. Very smart, very smart.
Yeah.
And then obviously for $300, you can get the Dream and original inked artwork. So you can get 6x9 original piece hand drawn by Quincy Washington, who did that cover that you like, Sam. So cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Yes,
Very
cool.
good stuff.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Hit that bell so you get notified with all of our upcoming shows. And subscribe. Help us get monetized. And thank you to the 514 subscribers.
Yes.
And we're trying to get to 1,000 or more. So let's get there. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, Podbean, whatever it is, all the links to our guests are in the YouTube channel in the summary. So head over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. Give us a rating on all of the other audio streaming platforms. That'll be great. With that said, don't forget to sign up for Designated in My Toilet and the Adventures of Wonderduck. Links are in the chat and in the summary.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
Join us back here in 10 minutes as we'll have another guest. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Let's
The Power Hour.
I know.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy.
Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name, right? This is what you were thinking? Oh,
He described me. He said, I'm the what?
Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.